I just have to grab my tea. Okay. Thank you, Eris. Good girl. Hello, welcome to Disco Elysium. It's me, aproustian. I am back in the game. I guess last time I went to the harbor and then I confronted Kuno because he lied to me a little bit. And now I need to figure out what I'm doing. I should look here first. Okay. Do I have a new thing here? These are the things that I finished. Here's my map. Oh, this is nice. Oh, I still need a copy of the city map. Okay, but it does list the white checks that I can try again. Oh, I can try the visual calculus on the set of tracks again. Or maybe not. They're not... It's not showing up. Is this the track?
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic.
Yeah, now it's really high.
The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message, written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there, and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry, according to the cafeteria manager.
What happened next?
The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south, must have been in a hurry.
Is this connected to the case?
I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic accidents waiting to happen in Martinez. With the jam right here on the roundabout, I would keep them separate.
You could follow the track south. There seems to be a canal there. See where they went, if you find the time.
I see. Yeah, a car drove through the fence.
You are
I guess
correct.
I could have said that
This
first.
is a rather motor carriage-friendly city.
Okay. And then there was something else. Here. Did something finish or did I get another option? I'm not sure. White morning. Magnesium-based life form. Maybe. Okay. Sure. Gosh, I'm not sure what to do. Oh, I do know what to do. No, I do. I have to talk to the Wild Pines guy. This all says Wild Pines. This was the dude I already talked to. This is the other way into the harbor. How am I gonna find the Wild Pines guy? There was also something about behind the greenhouse. Let me first look to see if I can figure out if it tells me where the Wild Pines guy is. Yeah, here. Oh. Find the representative of the logistics company who owns the harbor. Ask her about the murder. She should be around here somewhere. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how to get to the greenhouse. You know, I haven't yet talked to this child. Alright, wish me luck.
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think.
Take one
Looks
step
like it's
closer.
time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in.
Oh, I have to take a
I'm
step
going
closer.
away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for life.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
Child converse with me. I am so tempted just to ditch this conversation. What good can come boring of talking to this child, though? Let's be honest here. Going that way, that secret way, Kuna's thing, leads me up into the harbor, but I can't get down from there, as far as I know. So I'm gonna need a different way to get back there. Maybe if I go more over here? Yeah, I mean, there is more street this way, which I haven't investigated yet. Okay, well, we'll just explore. See what we find. To Roundabout North. To Cape Side Apartments, Martinez Pier. Okay. The ad reads broken window. Tibbs has windows. Great. Thanks, Tibbs.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Poor little viewer. Pat
The
this.
metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Look
A thick
inside.
layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards.
Kuno. Amazing.
That's Kuno on the lens.
Shift your focus to the
Under
background.
the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the star of Periconesus, or the Cairo, the central symbol of the Periconesian church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards. Around the large wooden building you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice.
Interesting. If you had a bag in your hand, perhaps you could collect these bottles and sell them. Yeah, I would love to. Where do I find a bag? Can I buy something from the freight and then
Whoa,
use the bag?
what have we here?
A
A
bridge.
bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind. A construction code violation if there ever was one.
Let death come. I'm a Revacholian badass. Kim, looks like we've got a construction code violation.
They never cleaned up the war damage. The rest of Revachol looks better, though.
But Lieutenant, think about the splinters.
The bridge is fine enough. Locals use it all the time, after all. It's nothing to worry about. Shall we?
I mean, we're already on it. The lonely cormorant surveys the sea indifferent to your approach. Oh. Oh, that's further down. It's going to take me up and around. That's fine. I think. Take all. Nice. That's good. I need more healing items since I spent them all on that chair. Billy, this boat shines like it was recently painted. Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Quisley in 33A. Your room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. This is worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life. Oh, there's someone there.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good evening, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbor. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
Look at that! I happened to find the Wild Pines person. Fantastic. What gave us away?
Honestly, I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Oh my god.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
Alright, shake her hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold.
Like steel. There is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will. Gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
That's nice to hear from Kim, and it's interesting that he's warning her when he didn't warn the Union boss.
It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
Oh.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
Alright, what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Who are the other Indo-tribes? I think this is Harry asking himself. This is him talking because it has the quotes.
Son Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
You're in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
She does not register the real meaning of the remark. Is it supposed to be a double, like a wordplay, like on company? How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
The money I owe is so much less than that. Yeah, numbers like that mean nothing to me.
Yes, past a certain point, numbers begin to seem imaginary. But they are quite real for the 72,000 employees who depend on Wild Pines for their paychecks. A conglomerate the size of Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving and growing, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It is a tremendous responsibility.
Where does Wild Pines get all these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Easterlers 250 years ago, when Pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the Great Unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
It probably does help to start out with a royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed, or been absorbed. To survive, wild pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that.
It's just fascinating to me because the name Wild Pines seems so incongruous. Like it feels like the name of a modern startup or something, not like this centuries old, conglomerate. Okay, what does a huge system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
Huh. Yeah, interesting. I mean, the workers do. I'm willing to push this. The company is nothing without them,
We built this district.
she says calmly.
We. There it is. She owns up to it.
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions. The plazas Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP.
She points behind you where the seawall rises.
Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees. A company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built.
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Oh, wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Technically, the neighboring Ozone and Fas Alamer island groups are archipelagos, while La Caillou, by contrast, is a single fertile landmass, the fourth largest island in the world. It is
Ooh.
not an archipelago.
I can bring that up. Wait, I thought Lake Caillou was one big island?
Okay, if you want to get technical. The point is, we're all on islands here, and sail is still the most expedient way to get from one island to another, especially when you're in a hurry to resolve a strike.
Huh. Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around
I
here.
haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Oh, interesting. She noticed Kim's car.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle.
He becomes defensive.
It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich.
Why?
Why what? Stop thinking. Take her down.
It'll come off like I'm envious, and I'm not.
You're not? Okay then. Just keep on admiring the boat then, unburdened by envy.
My brain doesn't believe me. Alright, does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cor de Leyte 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
Okay, what kind of boat is
It's a
it?
pleasure craft. A 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
Huh, how do you like
My
it?
sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
Okay, that felt very Douglas Adams to me.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
Okay, Kim. Alright. I'm not even gonna poke about the license then. I got a handle
Good.
on it. Okay. Um, what can you tell me about the strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
What if I want to hear about it? She won't be able to tell me. What's your role in this?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Interesting. I mean, we kind of assumed.
Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Yeah, you mean Measurehead?
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
She leans back and rolls her eyes. So the strike is connected to the lynching.
Yes, I believe there is a connection. But that's a subject for later.
Her eyes narrow. How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
Interesting.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Yeah, they want membership on the board.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
What happened to Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it?
She pauses to compose herself.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
That's not cool.
Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Yeah, that's interesting. What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Yeah, I mean, I am pro-union, but like that makes a board... I don't know how it would function. I mean, maybe you could, but it's certainly being cast as this is actually kind of legitimately ludicrous.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
I mean, it feels like I mean, the thing is, it feels like they're trying to disrupt the way the normal business is done. Well, I can't tell. Are they trying to make the board absurdly unworkable on purpose, like as a plan? Or do they not realize this would make the board unworkable? And, it's not clear to me. I'll say it seems like they have no idea about business.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker a member of the board.
What does that even mean?
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision, about what? About anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
Right, so nothing would happen.
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
That is pretty funny, I have to admit.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
Yeah, that is interesting. 4 months is a substantial amount of time. What are you gonna do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again.
Yeah, so these are unserious, unworkable demands. Why? Why are they making unserious, unworkable demands and shutting down the harbor?
And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
Good question.
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
Yeah, the scabs at the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrog, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
Let's call them strike breakers. You put them there, right?
If these strike breakers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Interesting. What do you think of Everard?
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick it with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
You sound like you're about to take a rapier to him.
Oh, heavens, no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin.
She stops and smiles. That's Everard, all right. Listen, I lost health and morale to that guy.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
I remember hearing something about this Edgar.
Have you seen him?
No.
Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the Union itself outside the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
She hesitates, looking for the right
A
expression.
mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, we are forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother.
So this is interesting because, as I've said before, I am pro-union, but it's interesting that they're casting this as like this union has been taken over by these corrupt brothers, and they have corrupted. So it's like part of this, you know, these unworkable demands, these wild demands, is that they're not really doing this for the benefit of the workers at this point, which is what the union is supposed to do. So that's going to be interesting.
And your opinion, Detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
They don't seem like an effective advocate for the rights of local working men, like they should be. I don't think they're elite, though. I think that they have provided benefit to the workers. I'm not sure. Like, I agree that it's a mob. I'm not convinced that they're a socialist mob, but I'll still say that.
Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
One more thing. You said something happened in the elections?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the union. She disappeared.
Oh.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
That's suspicious.
This forewoman, her name?
Yeah, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence. Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name. And I don't have access to the union's files.
Huh. It does sound like some kind of extortion.
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
I am, despite the fact that I'm still dirt poor, I am glad that I didn't take his money.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
Tell me about the lynching.
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
She falls silent for a moment, contemplating something.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I
Hello.
am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57.
Right, he hands her a piece of blue plastic. Oh no, I don't have my
And
badge.
this is my colleague from Precinct 41, Detective Dubois. I'm afraid Harry doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
Oh, and what happened to yours, Detective?
Yeah, remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Yes.
I can't hear you, darling.
Oh,
Speak
no.
up, please.
They're not gonna let me get away with it. It's possible. After a night of heavy drinking, I lost all memory of my life and the world.
Oh, dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond.
It's fine, Joyce. We just roll with
I
it.
do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
Indeed.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've
shit.
seen that badge.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
This can only be tried the once. Seems unlikely. I'll find it somehow.
Of course. But before we do, officers, let me be perfectly clear. The situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for all of us.
Okay, do you know something about these tattoos? Show her the picture.
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Alright. Yeah, we'll return to it
Better
later
not
then.
tie the forestay to the batstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
Well, she is rich, so this was part of my goal.
This reality.
She pulls her hood closer around her neck.
Yes, reality is your side case.
It is.
An experimental side case.
I'm conducting a personal investigation into the world I find myself in.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
My theory is that this inquiry into the nature of reality will ultimately converge with our murder investigation. They are really one and the same. I'm gonna go for it. I'm not sure that's true, but maybe it is.
Are they now?
The lieutenant cocks one eyebrow.
A deep synthesis. I'll assist you however I can then. Go ahead. Ask.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
They're like, do this in fucking order. Okay, where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
What is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour. North of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. As I told you, Martinez used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now the reeds are the real star of the show here. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
You mentioned a sea. What sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the Blue Immensities.
Okay, what's the name of the island? Didn't we see this already? Lake Codier?
Caillou, as you
Caillou.
already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed over pebble amidst a great blue sea. Misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the river Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch. The Martinez distributary.
Tell me about another even... We'll just go this way. What about Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city is Revachol?
Great kind.
What makes it great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Okay, who built this city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
When was it built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
Why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people. In the middle of the Insulindic Ocean. The world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
We're pretty much at the center of the world.
Oh, we're quite a way off. About...
As she points across the water where the skyscrapers
A
rise.
sparkle of lights on the horizon, like evening stars above the curvature of the planet.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Say nothing. Observe the large body of water swelling.
She
Cold.
observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative.
Oh.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality.
That's right.
Might I suggest not asking them all right
Oh,
now?
this is
Madame
true.
Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
Won't I be lazy? No, I'll continue
It's
later.
better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
Alright. Those are really low anyways. Alright, that's all
Glad
for
to
now.
have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Sure, by the way, I've talked to Everett Claire.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Oh god, all these options. I'm not swearing fealty to anybody. Alright. The thing is, I didn't.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually,
She answers her own question.
corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, worm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
She looks at the ground and nods.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt worm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Uh-huh.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Oh god, now I have to admit that I don't have my gun either. Let's do it.
That's so helpful of him.
I know, right?
The lieutenant looks at you, and
Oh,
you can
no.
swear his jaw muscle is trembling.
I'm sorry, Kim. I'm sorry,
He's
Kim.
able to contain the anger and surprise.
And
Sorry.
conventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
That's right.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun?
No.
Well, maybe he's not as helpful as you thought then. Is there anything else?
Alright.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
I'm not gonna bum money off of her.
Of course,
That
Detective.
feels awkward.
Take care.
I mean, she is rich, but like, I don't know. Oh, I've got two thoughts.
Hey.
Look around.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
Again?
Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too?
Can't argue with that.
So, what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street is you've woken up from 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect a version of communism many times greater than any attempted before. Is that true?
How come there's word on the
You
street?
keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pockets, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
I've said some mildly left-wing things, but none of those.
Oh yes, the mask of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that would devour and masticate mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
Wait, first, what's this communism even about?
Failure. It's about failure.
Failure?
Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother.
I mean, sounds a little difficult.
You against the atom, the charm and the spin. Where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist.
I feel like the thing is, it's contradictory, right? And I think it's meant to be, because, like, true community, communism takes lots of people, and this is like, no, I, the individual.
Now get to work, comrade.
Okay.
Oh yeah, get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
Wait, firing squads? You didn't say anything about those.
Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
Okay, roll your sleeves up further and breathe in the pristine air. Okay, I have a new thought. And this?
Aces low.
Oh, nice.
For the rest of the world, the aces low is just some cool Revachol thing, politically neutral. In Revachol, it still holds revolutionary connotations. Also, have you looked at Lieutenant Kitsuragi's clothes? He wears a bomber jacket, just like the ones worn by aerostatic brigades. And those cargo pants look like they could fit tools for hot fixing your burning aerostatic. You should ask him about this.
Alright. I have this. So +2 empathy towards Kim Kitsuragi and +1 esprit de corps. Nice. That's cool. What else do I have? No, I want to go here. Okay, my reality lowdown. I will return later to talk to Joyce. And I need to get that, but I have to get the badge first. Okay. Looks like there was more construction here once, decades ago. Capeside Apartments. Rue de Saint Lane, roundabout north. Okay. There's a girl up there. Did she spill the paint? Ah, I see the spilled paint. What's this? Hello? It's just clicking. Nothing's happening. What's this? Inside the frame of a motorcycle in repair and the tools used to disassemble it.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response.
Knock
The
again.
door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
Hold up. Who am I speaking
Doesn't
to?
matter who I am. Now go on, get out of here.
From within comes the faint sound of a broom sweeping across the concrete floor.
This is the police. Open the door.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
But I'm not joking.
No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building.
Anymore, huh?
Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
She trails off, leaving the sentence unfinished.
Backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east.
Kim, tell her we're real policemen.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
The lieutenant repeats dutifully.
There is no reply. Just faint, sweeping sounds inside.
It was worth a try. Okay, and that girl is up there. I don't know how to get up there. Let's see what this is.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Well, I'll give it a go.
You have no clue. It's just a wall.
Alright.
So many walls all over Martinez. Weather-worn, cracked, their paint peeling.
Alright. I will have to come back to you, wall. Oh, hey, I'm back behind, Kunoi's. Take all. Heck yeah. And another 11 cents. Oh, yeah. This is a garden hose. This won't be of use until the snow melts.
It's been a week and now they show up?
Chairs and tables eaten by rain and rot. A balcony with a view to the yard. And the hanging. Oh, that's a good point. Take all. Got a healing item. And a bum hat. Okay. Alright. Let's look at the hat. I don't have a hat. +1 reaction speed, feeling twitchy, but -1 rhetoric. An orange beanie with a couple of big-ass holes on the side. It looks like it might have been used as a master in an armed robbery. Oh my god. I just look a right mess. Like, I looked like a goof at the beginning. This is just... it just gets worse. How does Kim stick around with me? I've got my gardening gloves. I've got my bum hat. Okay. The smoker up there could be a witness. Talk to him. Yeah, I know. I'm going to.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head.
Okay, so this is the thing, the favor I'm doing for the fucking Everett guy. Press your ear
The
against the
leather
door.
upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp.
Oh, I don't like doing this, but I don't know how else I'm going to get my gun back, so I'm going to do it.
You try to be as silent as you can.
I unlock
It takes a
the
bit
door.
of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. There's nothing else to do than to leave and tell Everard. No conceivable reason for you to intrude on the premises. There might be important information in the apartment. I mean, there might.
You never know. Alright. I think I'm going to have to check that out the next time, though. Yeah, this has been interesting. And I finally found the Wild Pines person, so that's great. Alright, I will catch y'all the next time. Bye.